That was a brief introduction, which is fine. Robert Campbell and my friend, the artist, photographer and ceramicist, but today especially the photographer of the exhibition that I think most of you have seen on the way in, Hope Through Pain, which was set up to commemorate the anniversary of the beginning of the full-fledged war in Ukraine at the end of February. We're going to start today with a short presentation by myself, just to introduce myself and to talk about the work that I've done concerning Ukraine and Ukrainian displaced people and artists and so forth in Ukraine. From there, I'm going to turn over the baton to Vera to describe her own activities, her own work, and also towards the end, hopefully we'll have maybe 15 or 20 minutes to just have a sort of free discussion as well, and open up to the floor to everyone else here for questions and comments perhaps at the end of that. As my Asami kindly introduced me today, I'm a scholar of Japanese literature, which is very, very far away from contemporary events, classical literature, so I'm even further away from what's going on sort of in the world, especially Ukraine, which has a long-standing relationship, cultural relationship with Japan, but unfortunately, the motivation for me becoming involved, investigating, reporting, traveling to, and writing about, and also appearing on television and other media here in Japan about Japan is the fact of the invasion of Japan 4 years ago. I prepared some slides here from the last trip that I made to Ukraine last August in 2025, and I'd like to sort of guide you through the time that I spent there last August, what I was doing there, and try to connect that with Vera's work itself. Vera was introduced to me before I was able to travel to Ukraine last summer by a member of the Ukrainian embassy here in Tokyo. I knew that I was going for the second time. The first time that I traveled by myself to Ukraine to interview displaced people in order to help with the translation through English into Japanese, which I published in December of 2023, of testimonies by many of the people who were displaced as well. I wanted to go there and meet some of these people and actually understand the physical and the cultural context of some of the experiences that these people had fleeing from their homes and then returning, some of them fortunately unscathed, to their homes after the areas that were attacked were reoccupied by Ukrainian forces and so forth. So I spent about 2 weeks in Lviv and Kyiv, Bucha, Irpin, several other places in 2023, and wrote a book about that called The Vocabulary of War, Senso Goishu in Japanese. The second book that I I needed to write was concerned with people who had perhaps fled in the first stages of the full-fledged invasion, but had decided to come back or remained in place in each of their towns and cities in order to continue creating art. I became, in my first trip, very, very interested in these new developments in Ukrainian public art, street art, the way that art is used as therapy, art therapy, the way that, especially in the East, large cities like Kharkiv, where students, young people cannot be educated, cannot come together in a classroom to study because they become targeted. How they use art, how artists are using the occasion of art, the opportunity to allow young people, children, to communicate with each other and to grow by actually creating expression together and so forth. So I was very interested in meeting people, finding people who would be willing to be interviewed, to introduce me to other sources, to allow me entrance access to their work and so forth. So one of the first people that I was introduced to by the Ukrainian embassy here was Vera Blansh. We had one or two Zoom discussions, perhaps before I took off. I told her what I was going there for. We decided when and where we were going to meet, and I took off. I spent 3 days in Lviv, walking through the Unbroken Institute. The Unbroken is the name of a sort of ecosystem of rehabilitation and re-entry and treatment for soldiers and civilians who have been the tens of thousands of men and women and children who have been injured and have sort of mental and psychological trauma after the war. So Lviv, as many of you here may know, is a UNESCO designated sort of treasure of humanity, and it's becoming redefined as a city because of its proximity in the West, its situation in the west of Japan, and its relative stability during the war as a center for healing and care for people from all over the country. So that was something that really intrigued me, and I was able to meet with art therapists and people who are working with prosthetics and training people, soldiers and civilians, to redefine themselves and re-enter into society and so forth. After that, I went immediately to meet Vera in Kiev, and she was opened up her whole inventory, her whole Rolex index of friends and collaborators and co-workers in the art world in Kyiv to me, which was very, very important. One of the first people that we were able to visit together is Svetlana Povalaeva, who is a very, very important, well-known poet and former journalist in Ukraine, who has been active as an opinion writer also, especially since the Revolution of Dignity, the Maidan revolution in 2013, 2014. She has two sons, brilliant young men, around 20, 21, 22, each of whom volunteered to join the Ukrainian armed forces, and one after the other within the year before I went to meet her, were killed at the front in Ukraine. So when we met Svetlana last year, she had just lost her second son shortly before learning that her younger son had already died at the front. She has a second house on the other side of the Dnipro River, on the outskirts of Kyiv, and she still was in a very, very traumatic situation right there, felt uncomfortable coming into the center of the city because of the noise and so forth. So she opened up her doors and her heart to us for me to be able to meet her and to delicately ask what her situation was and the feelings that she had, and to discuss some of the poems which she has written since the disaster, the tragedy of her own family. And this was very, very important to me. She also sort of introduced us to her dog, who was brought home as an orphan, as a young dog by her son Roman for his birthday, I believe. And this was her two sons really, really loved this dog a lot. And this is basically the last member of her family, in a sense, that she had. The dog, last year when we met her, also had some health problems, and I understand that the dog just passed away a couple of months ago, unfortunately. But the opportunity for me to be able to meet intimately and to talk about and to discuss not just the works, not just the paintings and the clay works and the photographs and so forth that the Ukrainian artists are actually continuing to do right now, but to actually to experience some of the circumstances that they are in and to spend time with them was something that was very, very valuable for me. I hired a videographer to travel with us, and 2 simultaneous translators as well. So I have over 5 terabytes of video data from all of the trip that I made as well, which I've used as an open source for Japanese news media and so forth. Since I've returned, a lot of Japanese NHK and other television sources have used a lot of the video data that I've used as well for that. Vera also took me to see the Ukrainian house, which is a wonderful.
Olha.
Yes, I'm going to say her name in a minute. Please wait. Which is an incredible Soviet Union era monument right in the middle of Kyiv, which was dedicated to whom? It was dedicated to. Thank you, to Lenin. Thank you. It's dedicated to Lenin. It had an enormous. Thank you, Yulia. You're here. I just noticed you. Yulia Zamorska from the embassy of Ukraine here, whom I was just talking about a couple of minutes ago. But there was this enormous statue of Lenin in the middle of it, and they removed the statue in the early 1990s after Ukraine gained independence, and it has now become a wonderful museum of Ukrainian art. And when I was there last year, there was a special exhibition of art in the 21st century in Ukraine, including artists like David Chichkan, who was murdered shortly after I arrived, murdered at the front. He was a soldier. He was killed, a brilliant soldier, and some of his work was actually exhibited in this thing. I know that Vera was there at his funeral service in Freedom Square, and there as well. So just to be able to walk around with them was amazing to me. We also had an opportunity to visit a rehabilitation center for soldiers who had been physically wounded. This is in Kyiv itself. It's called Titnova. I have a T-shirt which I was able to buy there today. Unfortunately, when I was there last year, unfortunately, I wasn't able to take any back to me. Something very, very interesting about this facility. It's a small facility which is embedded within a very large shopping mall in the center of Kyiv. It's not isolated. They have created a facility to bring injured soldiers, physically, also emotionally, mentally, also back into society by creating a space where people who are far removed from the front and from the violence can actually see and talk and connect with these soldiers itself. The main purpose of the facility is to use art, clay, ceramics, paintings, photography. There's also a photography studio where soldiers are encouraged to make podcasts and to talk about their experiences and the things that they have. Of course, a lot of therapists, a lot of professional people are coming in every day to help them. This is part of the studio and part of the work that these men and women were actually creating there. You can see that there's a man standing to the right. His name is Egor Babenki, who was a volunteer soldier who was at the front in the east of Ukraine, whom in 2023, while he was sort of asleep in his unit at night, he was asleep next to an ammunition depot. A missile hit and he was burned all over his body. You can see he had very, very serious trauma all over himself. He came to Titanovi to train himself and to rehabilitate, and he has remained as a member of the staff there to encourage younger soldiers, so-called kohai, we say in Japanese, younger soldiers who have been injured, to encourage them and to help them mentally as well. He's doing all kinds of really, really interesting things right now. I was really impressed because we made an appointment to see him, and when we arrived, he was outside in the street, one of the main streets. He was outside in the street, actually waiting for us to arrive, which was very, very hospitable, but also I thought was just really, really amazing. He's been able to regain his courage and his ability to actually walk and talk around and be with people as well because of the wonderful work that they're doing there as well. We also had a chance to talk to young members of the Youth League of Democratic Ukraine, a young man there named Artur, who talked about how young people are getting together to create a freer society through war towards the other end of it as well. I also had a chance to spend an afternoon with a brilliant playwright and musician, friend, obviously, of Vera as well, who's committed to creating plays and new operas, which are set in the years since the new war began. Ilya Rozmek, who's a very, very brilliant artist as well. The chairman of PEN Ukraine, a philosopher, Elmoneka, who spent an afternoon talking about philosophy and about dialogue as well in Ukraine as well. Vera is really, really amazing. We're standing in front of an ambulance. Do you remember what we were doing here?
Tell us the story, please.
Just at the end of our time at the facility, at the rehabilitation facility, we didn't have enough time to make it to the other side of town for our next appointment, and Vera was my manager. She was my agent. She pulled me all over the place and was very, very good about that. And this facility has their own ambulance. So the head of the facility said, well, if you don't have enough time, we can take you there to the next venue in our ambulance. And I said, okay. And we got into the ambulance, my whole crew, my videography and everyone else, about 6 of us got in, and they turned on their lights and their sirens. And we actually sped through Ukraine in this ambulance. It was like coming out of a movie, sort of in a sense. We went through all of the red lights. Halfway there, a police car noticed that we were there, and he told us to follow him. So it was something that in Japan I would have been arrested for and definitely been in the newspaper the next day. It's something that I don't think has ever happened here before. But the passion that I felt at each of the places, each of the people, each of the facilities that I was able to visit last August, the interest and the pure commitment to talking to someone who had come from very far away, from the other end of the world, and to get their stories out, to tell people what it's actually like. We know about all of the geopolitical and military aspects of the war. We can read it. It's being hidden now because of the war in Iran and so forth, perhaps. But the smaller stories, the stories of what people are actually going through and what it means for especially people who are in the creative arts, who are in dialogue, who are concerned with talking, creating, and displaying new ways of expressing and understanding what's actually going on. I was really, really amazed by all of these people. I'm running out of time right now. I want to give it back to Vera, but just to introduce a couple of people, really treasures to me that I was able to encounter. One is Stella Minova, who is an important art collector and a sponsor of the arts in Kyiv. One of the very, very important things that I learned in my trip last time was that the art system, the contemporary art system, is very different. It has changed very much in the last few years from what we think of as contemporary art here in Tokyo or London or Paris or New York. There are galleries, there are collectors, there are artists who deal with galleries and so forth, but almost all of the collectors that I was able to meet, and all of the artists also, were much more committed now and spending their resources and their time opening up their doors, opening up and allowing as many people as possible to see and to experience and to discuss together new forms, new art that has occurred. Stella is on the forefront of this. She has created a foundation in Kyiv. The admission is free. People come in. She has her own staff of curators who are, Vera has had her own exhibition there as well, who are involved now in digging deep into the experience of Ukrainian culture and art in the last 10 years, the 20 years, the last 10 or 20 years, but also older forms of art in Ukraine through the Soviet years as well. So these private individuals or private gallery owners have a really, really important role, I believe, also in resisting and in experiencing and expressing solidarity and resilience through what's going on right now. This is some of the art that was exhibited in Stella's gallery while I was there. I just want to move on, finally introduce one more person, a brilliant ceramicist and sculptor named Nelly Uspova, who is an older generation artist. She began making her work and her name during the Soviet years and so forth. And we were able to visit her atelier, which is in a very, very high story, tall story building for artists, which was built for artists in the Soviet years. And she's filled her environment with all of the work that she's done that she hasn't sold and so forth. And we were able to spend an afternoon talking to her. And the thing that really struck me was that she's in a very, very high location with lots of windows. It's very, very bright, which to me made me very, very nervous. It's like, okay, what if a drone comes? What if a missile is going to hit you? You're out in the middle of sort of in the high area right here. And Nelly told me, she said, Robert, look at all of the art that I've created over the last 50 years. All of this art, she says, I feel is protecting me. It's warding off these evil spirits around me. I remain worried about her safety, of course, but she was very, very confident and very, very resigned, I think, to the circumstances that she's in. And it continues to create amazing images of angels and demons and devils and all of the things that strike her sort of figuratively in the last 3 years through the war. But anyway, this is just a really quick run through of photographs which Vera took while we were together last August. I should have said that in the beginning, I'm sorry. But Vera is, as you will notice, I'm sure later on, she takes photographs as she breathes. It's almost like in order to continue to breathe, she takes photographs. I don't know which comes first, but it's very interesting and sometimes very challenging to be with Vera in Tokyo, because most people in Japan are not used to having cameras, sort of flashing all over the place. But she's a wonderful archivist, an incredible documentary artist who is leaving tracks, leaving traces of everywhere that she travels. And I hope that towards the end of our conversation, we'll be able to ask a little bit about what it's like for Vera to be here in Tokyo after coming from war-stricken Ukraine. I've spoken much too long. Please, Vera, leave this. I'm going to leave it up to you. I'm finished.
It's incredible how you talk.
Go ahead.
I can listen to you again and again. Hello, everyone. Please, Robert. Thank you so much, European Union delegation, for this event, for this exhibition that we have here. Thank you so much, my Asami-san, for your job. Thank you, team. Thank you so much, Embassy of Ukraine in Japan, and Yulia Zamorskan, who introduced me to Robert Campbell. This meeting make me happy, and I'm really happy to have this relationship with you, Robert, because you are really brilliant person. And I really thank you for your support, Ukraine, for your big heart. And for me, it's big honor to call you the big friend of Ukraine. Thank you so much. And thank you that you find time to come here tonight. Today, I don't know, very dark now, I think it's night. Thank you so much. So, as you know, I will be a little bit slowly than Robert Campbell because my narrative language is Ukrainian. And as you know, my name is Vera Blansh. Before full-scale invasion, I was fashion photographer, and I shoot for Glossy magazine and working with magazine as Vogue, Elle, Harper's Bazaar, and with model agencies as Next, AMG, around the world, in London, New York, or Paris. And I created beauty before that horrible time. I spent my life surrounded by beauty, beautiful models, men and women. We were creating a kind of fairy tales on photo shoot, photo sets, and never imagined that one day all of it would lose its sense. I remember February 24, 2022, when the full-scale invasion began. All of us in Ukraine were in shock, even though the war had already been ongoing since 2014. But we didn't expect it to be like this, spanning across the whole country. In that moment, we lost everything, and the meaning of everything we had created until then. I kept thinking, what fashion photography? Who needs any of this now? Millions of people fled the country, among them designers, models, magazines, editors, all teams with whom I worked before. Life changed completely. It felt like everything we had created and lived for had suddenly become unnecessary. And from that moment, a new chapter began for all Ukrainians and for me as well. I spent a week sitting in my bathroom because there was information that it was a safe place. I hid there trying to save my life. I heard the explosions of Russian bombs and didn't know if it would survive. 1 year we asked many countries for the sky over Ukraine to be closed. The whole world watched us on evening TV show, but no one responded to this request. And I remember this moment. It was really horrible. But after a week from the full-scale invasion, I got used to those sounds of war and started asking myself, what can I do best for my country? And the answer was obvious. I am an incredible photographer, of course, as you say, Robert. And I can tell the story of this war, so we don't lose the information front like Ukraine did in 2014, when Russia attacked us and its propaganda managed to win over the minds of many world leaders and people across the world. And from that moment, I picked up my camera. Sorry, very emotional. And began my journey as a war photographer. Can you give me them so I know that I will graduate today? Not using this picture. Yeah. Hold on, just a moment. Sorry, I'm a very open person. So behind every photo there is a big story. I will share just a few of them with you. In this photo you see a pair of actors who are also a couple in real life. They are from Zaporizhia. Zaporizhia is frontline city, a city I love and visit from time to time for exhibitions or to work on projects, art projects or photo projects. This was in 2024, after the ballistic missile. This word counterbalance, yeah? There's a death and pain brought by Russian aggression. Despite the brutal war, people continued to live, to love, to hold on. Next to it's a photo, a destroyed building from 2022. A crater formed between its entrances, as if two shapes had moved close to one another and were about to kiss as well. This is the body of war, horrible body of war. Next. Just a moment. No, this one. Thank you so much, dear and you assist me today. Just a moment, I just tried. I took this photo in 2024 at the maternity hospital. I wanted to show the courage and strength of Ukrainian women who not only remain in Ukraine under extremely and difficult conditions, but also give birth in frontline cities. It's amazing. The image was taken a day after the birth. The baby's father is at the front, defending the country from the advance of Russian occupiers, while the mother is giving new life. It's very touchable for me. Next photo. Thank you, Mai. Next one. This one, yes, thank you. We come back, okay? Arigatou gozaimasu. Arch of Friendship of Nations is one of the most well-known landmarks in Kyiv. Located in the city center near Kreshchatyk Park and the observation decks overlooking the Dnipro River. It was opened in 1982 to commemorate, sorry for my English, the so-called reunification of Ukraine with Russia. In 2022, the composition was partly destroyed, while some elements were left. I even have a series of photographers documenting this process too. And I titled my photo of destroyed building in Borodyanka in 2022, Arch of Friendship of Nations, so that everyone could understand what this friendship with Russia really looks like. Because Russia called us as a brothers, sisters, friends, but Russians' friends looks like that. In the image, there is also one of the heroes who rescues people after airstrikes, pulling them out from under the rubble. I took this photo in 2022 in summer in Svetoshino region in Kiev. May, can you help me, please? You see the photo on my... Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. In our country, there's now the concept of a war veteran. There are heroes who have returned from the front, often without arms or legs, because of Russian aggression and the war. In this photo is a soldier named Gleb. He came back from the war without one arm and both legs. He is only 55 years old. Sorry, I'm really emotional. For me, maybe for you it's just a photo. For me, it's story of my country. Several large rehabilitation centers have appeared in Ukraine. And Titanovi, that you talk about, that Robert, is one of them. The founder of this center was a real developer in Kiev with a large business. After February 24th, 2022, his life changed. He left his business and went to the front to evacuate wounded soldiers. Later, he sold his business and used funds and money to create the large rehabilitation center, Titanovi. More than 200 veterans undergo rehabilitation there. It's incredible work, brilliant people like this, back to life, fitting. I can't read it. It's very incredible to see how people who came from front and war return to the society and have again normal life. It's not easy, but it's very incredible to see this work. And for us, for Ukrainian society, life is changed as well with that, because we have many veterans around us every day, and these numbers is
increasing.
Yeah, thank you so much. Next in that photo is a failed Ukrainian is bread basket for many countries around the world, and bread is one of the symbols of our nation. And I think it's the reason why our soldiers fight. Because, sometimes I think we fight only for our country, but it's not true. Our soldiers fight for many countries, and not only for our democracy and peace. They fight for food, for example, for many countries in Africa. Yes, they are here. Mike, can you help me again? Thank you so much. In 2021, a year before the war, I photographed my niece, yes, sorry. The Katerina is daughter of my sister. It was last peaceful summer for her. A year later, the war began and she started first grade. Now in the 5th year of the war. It seems that her entire education is taking place under missiles, learning with a taste of death and war. This photo is from Zaporizhia in 2022, a destroyed building and shot children's toys, the belongings for Ukrainian children, standing as symbol of Russian terror. In this war, I saw a lot of cars, civilian cars, with word children, because Ukrainian civilian people try to save their children, and think that if Russians can see this word, they never will shoot this car. But it's not working. Nothing can stop Russian in their terrorists. Next one, please. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. This photo is very emotional and heavy. On the one side is a Ukrainian field, what we call Chernozem. The soul that feeds health the world. On the other side is mass grave. I took this photo in Irpin in 2022 near Church of St. Andrew, the first called. The Russian force dug a bit through into 300 bodies to executed civilians, women, children, men, and old people. And I really don't want to make this historical through too comfortable or show only what you might be able to emotional doing so would not tell the full story. Because a lot of time when I choose the photos for exhibition, some curators or somebody who chose these photos ask me, please don't take this, it's too emotional. But I'm sorry, this is true. And one more time, you just look at that. Can I ask you change photo?
Forward or backwards?
Yeah, she knows.
Okay.
Look at this one, thank you. And this is, you just see just a body, just arm. It's just photo for you. But for me, I remember this emotional when I stay there, listen, near church. Russians always say that they are believers, Orthodox believers, and they pray for God. But near church, they made it, just collect a lot of bodies, executed Ukrainian civilian people, children, women, men, and put it there. And I'm really sorry if it's horrible for you. And next one, please. With tank, photo with tank. Thank you. This is Bucha 2022, Vokzalna Street with Russian tank. The city's residents wrote message on their houses, and people or children that I told before, hoping the Russians would not shoot them, but the Russian forces ignored their signs and shot anything what was alive. There is where a Ukrainian force stopped and destroyed a large convoy of Russian tanks. And I write here, brave Ukrainian forces. And I really remember this street, Vokzalna in Bucha, Vokzalna and Yabluneva. Emotional, very emotional, because it was, it's like first months of war, and now it looks like we used for this, but on the first months, everything looks very horrible and dangerous, and I saw the first time tanks on our streets or bodies. Next one, please, May. Thank you so much. With soldiers? Soldier. Yes, thank you. Kramatorsk, this is Kramatorsk 2022, Donetsk region. Ukrainian soldier, wounded and just brought from the battlefield. This moment is very emotional for me as well, because I remember how I prayed and what I feel always when evacuated cars come to us. I remember how wounded soldiers were brought to the military hospital, and we pray for one thing: may he be alive, may it not be cargo 200, may the cargo 300. I don't know. Do you know what it means? But 200, cargo 200, it means there's people inside. Cargo 300 means the alive people inside that car. And sorry. I remember on that moment that I met first time Japanese paramedic there.
Paramedic.
Paramedic. Our paramedics, they are really heroes, and our doctors who save life. It's separately chapter of this war. And I remember then I met this Japanese paramedic and asked him, "What are you doing here? Japanese is so far from Ukraine. Why are you risking your life for Ukrainians?" He tried to save people, civilian people from Lysychansk, and it looked like half of city was occupied by Russia. And he tried to take off bodies from destroyed building. And he was just a simple man like you and me. And I really don't know, because Japan is so far from Ukraine. It's not German, it's not French, it's not Poland or Lithuania or Litva. Very far. And I asked him, "Why? What are you doing here, please? I know that if I save one life, I save the world. I save whole world." And I'm deeply grateful to the Japanese people and to this young man for such support of Ukraine. Thank you so much. And I really want to thank you for this opportunity for me, that I have to take a brief rest from the war in your beautiful country and return to home with renew strengths to continue creating important documentary and artist projects and talk about my country here. And really, it's big opportunity, honest to me, my and delegation of European Union to show this exhibition. Thank you so much. And I really many thanks for Japanese people, and I want to tell that, because I know you want to ask me, but I prepare my text.
Okay, we have to check. Do we have some time? Can we go over? Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Okay, tell me how many minutes. Give us how many minutes.
Yes, that's 10 minutes.
Until
10.
10 minutes. Okay, 4:10 we have to finish. Okay, so go ahead.
10 minutes. I just have 1 minute for my speech because in Japan, what happened with me? I'm here like refugee, and I have a few months for rest. And what happened with me here? I really become an artist, and I had the time to learn ceramic art in the city in Otsu, near Kyoto. In 4 months, without bombs, war, I create an art project, and soon I will be open my solo exhibition in Tokyo. And Mr. Robert Campbell really helped me with money. Thank you so much for that. And not only money, with a team, with the galleries. And if you see on your chair, we have small information about me, Robert, and postcards about this exhibition. And if you find time to come, it will be from 11 April till 12. I will be very, very happy to see you again there, because we have prepared something great, and you can see how I worked on this month in your country. It's really amazing project. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great.
Sorry for mistakes.
Vera, thank you. Vera, thank you for telling us what was behind a lot of the amazing, very powerful photographs that we see in the lobby. Also for introducing some photographs which were not included in your exhibition here as well, and to also allow us to have a sense of what was going on through your eyes, in your mind, and in your heart when you were taking these photographs. I have 2 questions, brief questions. 2 questions.
Somebody else.
No. I have the mic. I'm going to ask you the question. First of all, I want to ask you. At the beginning, you said that you were a fashion photographer working with beauty for so much, and then 2024, in the year 2022, everything changed very, very suddenly, and you became a war journalist. A lot of your co-workers and the people that you trusted left the country, were displaced for their own reasons and so forth. I just want to ask you very, very briefly, what was it that made you not leave? You were part of the fashion industry, the whole complex and so forth. What was it that kept you from actually just sort of leaving at that time? That's one question. The second question is, I know that you were in a very, very intensively attacked, very, very dangerous part of Ukraine. You were in Zaporizhia for about a month, right before you came to Tokyo in November last year. I can't imagine the difference in the tension, the difference in atmosphere, daily life, the physical aspects of it and so forth. going between Zaporizhia, coming directly to Tokyo. You spent the last 4 or 5 months working on art that you're going to be exhibiting next month in Shimokitazawa from April 11th. Hope everyone comes to see that. And we'll be able to see that and judge with our own eyes and so forth. But what has that meant to you? How has it felt to you to go and work between these two very, very different places? Those are two very different questions, but if you can just answer me briefly, I'd like to ask some of the other people as well.
I will use my interpreter.
Okay, very good.
I'm Vera as well.
That is.
Here, I'm just a translator. I'm not a professional translator, so really apologize if something goes not so perfectly. But it's more difficult for Vera to speak without preparation, so she'll be translating into English. She'll be talking of the native Ukrainian.
Можеш українською сказати це запитання?
Чому ти залишилася в Запоріжжі?
Це
Чому
перше.
ти не поїхала? Це перше запитання. Друге запитання. Наскільки інакше ти себе відчуваєш? Так? І що тобі це говорить, що робити, те, що ти робиш?
В нашій країні ми поділилися на дві частини. Люди.
There are sense in Ukraine, people basically belong to two categories.
Перша частина – це ті люди, які конкретно вирішили, що вони залишаються попри все.
First category is those who stay whatever happens.
Друга категорія – це ті люди, які були з дітьми, це жінки, часто і чоловіки теж.
The second category is those who have to take care of somebody, mostly about children. So these people would most probably leave the country.
Хто
Protect those they have to take care of.
так. Але в мене немає дітей.
She has no children.
І, можливо, це причина, чому я вирішила, що якщо в мене немає дітей, то немає ризику такого сильного.
She believes this is one or partly the answer to the question. The risks she takes are lower than the risks the families with children take.
Бо якщо мене вб'ють, то вб'ють тільки мене.
If she gets killed, it's only her who is killed.
І я не відповідаю ще за когось,
She's not responsible for anybody else,
хіба що за свою кішку.
except for her cat.
І я люблю Київ.
She loves Kyiv.
І я не могла просто залишити. Знаєте, це як кохання твого життя. Ти не можеш його залишити в найважкіші часи свого життя, його життя.
And it's like a love story. You cannot leave something or somebody you love. So basically, she remained where she was.
І я точно знала, що Київ русня не візьме.
She was also sure that the Russians has no chance to take Kyiv.
І це давало мені сили стояти в Києві
That gave her strength to
в 2022. І ще одне запитання, як це бути у війні чи тут? Ну, це дуже по-різному.
As for being in the war and being here, feels very different for her. Partly she already answered that question when she was reading the prepared statement.
Роберт має друзів в Каназаві, які роблять проект з кінцукі.
Robert has friends in Kanazawa who
Кінцукі.
do kintsugi.
І Роберт попросив мене взяти декілька розбитих тарілок після бомбардувань в Києві.
Robert asked Vera to take some plates which were broken as a result of the war in Kyiv
Для цього проєкту.
for that project.
І зараз вони роблять цей проект.
So they are now in making of Kinzuki on those places.
І коли Роберт мене запитував про цей проект і що я відчуваю,
So when Robert asked her about the project and what she feels,
я йому відповіла, я відчуваю, що Україна – це і є Кінзукі.
she said that she feels like Ukraine is Kinzuki.
Тому що все зломане вночі російськими бомбами, а зранку ти склеюєш себе, своїх близьких і продовжуєш свій шлях.
Because almost every night is destroyed with the attacks overnight. But in the morning, you wake up, you get things together, you get yourself together, and you restart your life even more beautiful than it was before.
І це дуже по-різному, як я живу тут і як я живу вдома.
It feels very different on how she lives here and how she lives back.
Але я дуже щаслива, що я можу провести час для відновлення тут.
She's very happy and grateful that she has time to recover here
І дійсно працювати і створювати новий проект
and really work as an artist.
без бомб.
She has the freedom and space to work as an artist without thinking about something.
Але також я щаслива, що я можу повернутися додому і знову бути в цій енергії України і бути тим голосом, який не є фальшивим, тому що я не можу говорити про Україну без України.
But she also feels she misses Ukraine a lot, and she feels very happy that she can go back and feel the spirit of Ukraine again, renew her feelings, and get back the voice to speak about Ukraine for Ukraine, the real voice and the real truth.
Щиро дякую.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vera. You certainly renewed my sense of gratitude for the peace that we have among us here in Japan, fortunately, because of the efforts and the incredible, sort of efforts of generations of Japanese and other people, concerned in involving Japan society since the Second World War. But I think it's a great. I can't speak for all of Japan in expressing my gratitude for you for coming here as well, but also besides your work as an artist and the work that you're going to do here and then continue to do back in Ukraine, I think it's very important for us to listen to what you have to say so that we can recognize and acknowledge the gift of peace that allows us to be here together with us today. If we have a few minutes beyond the 10 minutes, which are granted to me, I would like to take one or two, perhaps three questions, brief questions. One question I'm just been told. One question, okay. Does anyone have any questions or anything to ask or comments about what you've heard today? There's a gentleman sitting over here.
I have a question.
Wait for the...
I am in Seattle. I'm Greg. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Oh, wow, really? I can see your face. You look like Japanese.
I have a question to Vera Blansh. A lot of your pictures contain this black and white filter, and I really wanted to ask the question: what led you to a decision to apply the black and white filter to most of your pictures?
Чому чорнобіль? Давай українською буду. Як я вже казала, що перед початком повномасштабного вторгнення я працювала фешн-фотографом, і мої фотографії були завжди дуже кольорові.
As she already told, she worked as a fashion photographer before the full-scale invasion. Her photos were full of colors.
Так, але коли все це почалось, цей жах, це не те, що надлом був, просто все змінилось, ви розумієте? Тобто весь сенс всього, що ти робив, він просто зник.
But with the horror of the full-scale invasion, everything changed. As the meaning of what was done before vanished.
І моє бачення на фотографію і на світ в в один ранок змінився.
She says her vision of the photography and that world as it is changed in one morning.
І, мабуть, це і є причиною. Я бачу в цьому, Степан, таку глибину. Хоча, коли я фотографую кров, наприклад, так, на лобовому склі, як русня вистрілила в лобове скло і кров'ю написали букву V and Z, їх символ. Мабуть, це єдина фотографія кольорова, яку я залишила із всього, що в мене було. А в мене дуже багато фотографій з війни.
From that time, she thought that black and white represent the right depths. And the only color picture that she kept from the beginning of the war was a picture of the... може, хтось українською мені допоможе? Розстріляна машина.
Fighting.
Of the bullet pierced cars. There was blood of the victims. The Russians killed people. The blood of those people they used to put Russian military signs on the windows of the car. That photo she has, and then she gives it a color, the color of the blood.
Це було на Житомирській трасі в 22-му році.
Thanks a lot for that really good question. Very
Дякую,
simple,
Степан.
basic
Гарне
question, but
питання.
very important, and we've been able to hear about that as well. My controller is saying everything is finished. We have to evacuate the building. So I'd like to wrap this up today, if I may. Once again, congratulations, Vera, on your exhibition this time. Looking forward very much to seeing your next iteration, the next form of the experience that you've had over the last 4 or 5 months here in Tokyo, in Shimokitazawa, and also again to invite everyone to come to that as well.
Please.
So anyway, congratulations and thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.